Oh boy, things are not looking good at Build a Rocket Boy. I just finished playing the main story of MindsEye over the weekend, so if you want to go check that out, feel free and look at my MindsEye playlist along with my thoughts, views, and opinions regarding free roam. That video is also linked below in the description section. And along with this article from IGN, I'm going to add some of my final thoughts regarding this game. So let's get into the article, linked below in the description section as well. MindsEye developer Build a Rocket Boy begins layoff process amid disastrous launch, studio sources say. Build a Rocket Boy has told staff a redundancy process has begun amid disastrous launch of MindsEye. The cuts could affect over 100 employees, studio sources have told IGN. One person, who's asked to remain anonymous in order to protect their career, told IGN there's no word yet on exactly how many staff are affected, but the standard 45-day consultation process started on June 23rd, which according to UK law triggered when the employer proposes 100 or more redundancies within a 90-day period. IGN understands Build a Rocket Boy currently has around 300 UK employees, with around 200 abroad. IGN also asked Rocket Boy for comment. Staff now face an anxious wait to find out if they will be affected. Meanwhile, there's serious questions over whether Build a Rocket Boy will be able to fulfill its post-launch roadmap for content, including the proposed multiplayer mode, on time. Last week, Build a Rocket Boy said it was heartbroken over issues players had faced with the recently released game and promised to issue a series of patches to fix the significant performance problems, glitches, AI behavior issues. Good news is some of those patches have already been rolled out. All the while, MindsEye's troubled launch saw the developer cancel sponsor streams, and there were reports of players securing refunds, even from the normally stubborn Sony. On Steam, which does not paint the whole picture of MindsEye's current popularity, the game hit a peak concurrent player base of 3,300 on launch, but has also had a 24-hour peak of just 130 players. At the time of the article, 52 were playing on Steam, with mostly negative user review ratings. MindsEye was initially part of Everywhere, a Roblox for adults game creation platform led by GTA design chief Leslie Benzies. Build a Rocket Boy based in Edinburgh, Scotland, eventually switched to focus on MindsEye, its story-driven action-adventure game, but so far failed to do the business for the company. In an email to staff reviewed by IGN, co-CEO Mark Gennard insisted the company remained committed to MindsEye, but pointed to a shift from intense development and launch phase to a substantial post-launch support phase. Gerhard hit the headlines ahead of MindsEye's launch, claiming that there was a quote-unquote concerted effort by some to trash the game and the studio, suggesting people were being paid or using spam bots to post negative comments. However, the boss of the publisher, IO Interactive, which also makes the Hitman games, subsequently issued a denial. GameRoll put out this post as well regarding MindsEye. Reports are starting to come in that Build a Rocket Boy, the developers of MindsEye, have begun laying off employees. We just covered that via the IGN article. Leslie Benzies, the head of Build a Rocket Boy, allegedly led an extremely toxic work environment that only favored people who would say yes to everything he proposed. Released a broken, unfinished, and borderline scam title that was MindsEye. Proceeded to fire hard and passionate workers who had no intention of making a bad game. Article from IGN, link below in the description section. So now that I've played through the main story and a bit of the side activities, along with free roam, which I did do a video about once again below in the description section, this is why I think MindsEye failed. Obviously, this was a bad game. It needed way more time in the oven, a lot more ingredients, and it honestly felt like there were things that were left out or just tossed on the floor or just completely forgotten about. Now, I'm not going to spoil the game for anybody that kind of still wants to play through MindsEye for better or worse. So we'll try to make this as spoiler-free as possible. Who knows, maybe eventually it'll become available free on PlayStation Plus, and I do intend to check out the multiplayer if it launches sometime this fall. Now, what I did like about MindsEye was the characters, the actors I thought they all did a pretty good job with the material they were given, including Alex Hernandez, who played the protagonist, Jacob Diaz. He also did a great job as Lincoln Clay in Mafia 3, so nothing against him or the actors. But when it comes to a linear story like MindsEye set in an open world of Red Rock, the story has got to be good from start to finish. Case in point, the Mafia games. Well, obviously, Alex Hernandez was in Mafia 3, and that story was fine. And Mafia 3 is different than Mafia 1, 2, and The Old Country, because those are linear stories set in an open world, very similar to MindsEye. So that's where the comparison is for me. You have got to have a good story. The story started off strong, but by the time it got to the somewhere in the middle and heading into Act 3, it just fell apart. I did like the near future setting of Red Rock. I think this was a decent world, much better than St. Ilso and Saints Row in name only, but that's not exactly a high bar. I enjoyed using the drones. I thought the drone was fun, especially once you have it fully upgraded. The driving was surprisingly decent, much better than other games that have driving, like Watch Dogs, for example. However, the shooting could have been way better, and the frame rate was just atrocious. Especially since this is supposed to be on current-gen consoles, PS5, PS5 Pro, Xbox Series XS, along with PC, you would expect better than, for example, 18 FPS on the base PS5 or 21 FPS on the PS5 Pro, according to Digital Foundry. I don't know why some people honestly thought this was going to be a quote-unquote GTA killer. Most of you have probably already watched the comparison videos, GTA versus MindsEye. And yeah, there's some great videos out there that show off things that have been in GTA since the 3D era, GTA 4, GTA 5, that for some reason didn't make their way into MindsEye. Some basic stuff like the ability to steal cars. There are rare occasions where Jacob Diaz will steal a car out of desperation, but for the most part, he's pretty much a law-abiding guy, so I completely understand him not wanting to steal a car in the main story. However, in free roam, when you're playing a completely different character, you only get one car. And you can't steal any other cars in the game, even the cars that are in parking lots. And unlike Free Ride and Mafia Definitive Edition, you can't even store them in a garage and pull out various vehicles that exist in MindsEye just to drive around Red Rock in. They also made it to where you can't enter or exit your vehicle via the passenger side for whatever rhyme or reason. That's been a thing in GTA forever. And you can't even dive out of the cars, especially if the car's badly damaged or on fire. It has to come to a complete stop before you get out of the vehicle, which really doesn't make sense. And once again, that's been a thing in GTA for quite a while now. Melee combat in GTA is not the best, so I will compare MindsEye right here when it comes to Melee with Mafia 3, since both the protagonists are played by Alex Hernandez. In this 2016 game, Mafia 3, which had its issues at launch, it's not perfect, but the melee was at least a thing in Mafia 3, unlike MindsEye. And even when you're up close and personal with an enemy in a firefight, your character does not butt them with the pistol or with a rifle or with a shotgun, unlike GTA, which has once again been around in many GTA games. Falling looks a lot more better and believable in GTA than MindsEye. There's no actual day or night cycle. Each mission either takes place at night or during the daytime. And when you go into free roam, when that finally unlocks for you after several hours of playing through the main story, there's only a nighttime mode in free roam. It doesn't switch from night to daytime. And once again, day-night cycle has been a thing since the GTA 3D eras, all the way to GTA 4 and GTA 5. Now, Mafia the Old Country has yet to come out. I'm looking forward to playing it in August. But if we look at the side-by-side comparison between the worlds of Sicily for Mafia the Old Country and Red Rock for MindsEye, along with the combat that's revealed in various gameplay videos, it feels like despite the fact that both these games were made using Unreal Engine 5, Hangar 13 has put a lot more effort and work into Mafia of the Old Country than Build a Rocket Boy did with the same engine for MindsEye. Which leads us to who is to blame for the failure of MindsEye. And the buck stops with Leslie Benzies, the Benz. He had such a phenomenal career leading Rockstar Games as its president. From GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Bully, Red Dead Redemption 1, GTA 4, and Grand Theft Auto 5, that a lot of Rockstar fans, including myself, thought very highly of Leslie Benzies. And the fact that this was his studio, Build a Rocket Boy, we honestly expected way more out of MindsEye from him than we ended up getting. MindsEye has outright ruined and obliterated Leslie Benzies' reputation. And bear in mind, he was let go sometime after the launch of GTA 5 and had nothing to do with Red Dead Redemption 2. In other words, Rockstar is going to be just fine when it comes to Grand Theft Auto 6 without the Benz involvement, especially if MindsEye is the best that he can do. And if the rumors are true, it looks like Leslie Benzies had a very toxic work environment at Build a Rocket Boy. Now I want to compare Leslie Benzies with someone else that was once part of a studio who built up a reputation for himself and also left to go on and do his own thing, Kojima. He's made a variety of games throughout the years, best known for the Metal Gear Solid series. His final Metal Gear Solid game was The Phantom Pain. After that, he formed his own studio, and a few years later, he came out with Death Stranding, which was very well received. And by the way, Death Stranding 2 is coming out, and it's getting rave reviews. On one hand, you have Kojima, who lives up to his reputation. And on the flip side, we have Leslie Benzies, who doesn't exactly have a good reputation anymore. For the record, I do feel bad for everybody that was involved with the making of MindsEye. All the developers, the writers, the actors, the artists. They did the best job they could, especially in an apparent, alleged toxic work environment. But at the end of the day, MindsEye is unfortunately a failure. I hate to say that. I wanted it to do better and be better and maybe even launch a new franchise. There's rumors of a MindsEye 2, which at this point I really don't see happening. But the failure of MindsEye can ultimately be blamed on one person, and that man is Leslie Benzies. Your thoughts, views, and opinions, welcome, as always, below in the comment section.